Give it a couple of seconds. Ah, there we go. Now we're recording. All right, I see that red dot showing now. Good morning, students. Let's share my screen. I hope you're well. Can someone just admit the students as we go along? Today we're going to cover 315. One more exercise. Tomorrow 316, students. And then we go through the mock test next week. Mock test 1 and mock test 2. I'm going to upload it over the weekend. Or actually, before the weekend, so that the tutors can also start getting going with that. Yeah. And then we can talk about the May, June exams and your assignments, the group assignments. So students, if you're in group A, B, and C, you can work within your group A, B, and C students as long as it's not more than 4. Like I said yesterday on the tutorial group chat. And say, for example, Mr. Isop is group EF, they can work together. Mr. CR Sandy HI, they can work together. Pardon, and Mrs. Muhammad ECP students group A and B can work together. So as long as you work within your lecturers groups, and as long as it's not more than 4 members, so you can be members of 2, you can be members of 3, and you can be maximum members of 4. All right. So anyway, let's get cracking into 3.12. Let me share my screen. 3.15, sorry, which is share screen. There we go. And there we go. And that is just the calendar that I opened up. Exit the calendar. And here we are. Admit the student. Okay. And 3.15, I copied and paste from Blackboard to my desktop. That's the solution. And obviously inside here is the questions and the starter file, which I already opened. So let's see what the starter file looks like. Okay, let's minimize that over there. So this is what your starter file looks like. All right, we're busy with soccer achievements, football. Okay, now we know where we're at. And let's look at the questions. So apply a gold color tab, view the lobby. Can someone just admit here as I go along, in case I forget? Let's see, admit, and minimize again. And minimize this when it comes up over there. Okay, apply a gold color tab to the medals achievement sheet. Medals, not metals, sorry, the medals achievement sheet. So we're busy here. And they want me to look for a gold color. Let's see. Color tab. What is that? That's orange. What is that? There's gold. So any one of these two was fine, students, because I see there's a different shade of gold. That's orange. Oh, there's gold. Okay. And we click on it. All right, that's fine. So as long as it's a gold color, whatever percent, that is fine, students. And I'm going to shade this in, meaning we finished that question, and let's go along. Can everybody see? 130, 140. Let's make it a bit bigger. Okay, so now question 2. We need to look and use the uppercase formula or function and apply the subheadings that we see in sheet 2. And we must basically insert this formula in row 2 of the medals achievement sheet. So in this row, in the medals achievement sheet, in this row over here, we must apply subheadings by using the uppercase formula and using this data over here to apply it. So step 1, we go back into the middle sheet because this is where I want my formula to appear. In A2, are we at the end? A1, A2, yes, column A, row 2. I am going to go into formulas, recently used, and see if the upper is here. If not, we're going to go search the upper. UPPER and admit. And let's go. And there is the uppercase capital letters formula. And I click on it. Now, what is the text? This is where it gets now, where we go into sheet 1. And I'm going to click with my left click of my mouse and drag all that information across from A1 to L1. And I release my finger, and this is what happens. And when I click on OK, it's going to shoot back to this achievement sheet in row 2. Let's see what happens. And OK. So we applied the uppercase formula from sheet 1 using the data in A1 to L1 and applied the formula in row 2 of the medals achievement worksheet. So far, so good. Right, though. That's nicely 3 marks, eh? June exams. Admit. And let's shade that in. Now they want me to probably reformat the subheadings. So what do they want me to do? Change the font to a body and font size 13. Let's do that part first. So we're going to select everything, click away, and click on there, and we are going to change it. Home tab, type in the number 13, enter, and change the font to a body, which I think is that over there. Pardon. So that's the first part of the question 2 or question 3. Bold the subheadings. Okay, so they want me to bold it. Admit, and yellow, and apply a bold font to the subheadings. So now we're formatting the subheadings. Let's see now. Now they want me to look at the headings, the main heading. Man. Undo and yellow. Format the heading by merge and centering the heading and apply a gold fill color background. Let's do that part first. So step 1, from A1 to L. Right? Let me just see what's going on here on my phone. Phone is going off here crazy. They want me to select the data from A1 to L1 and I apply merge and center. And then they want me to apply a background gold. Let's see what that is. That's a gold sample. And I click on it. So what do you notice, students? That this color and that color is the same. Just hold on 1 second. All right? Where are we now? Let's read on. Apply gold background color. Use the font Rockwell Extra and change the size to 21. And also apply a middle. Let's do this part. I'm going to change this to a different color. Let's do that part. So we're going to find the font bold, Rockwell. And if you don't want to type in all the way to R, you just type in ROX and let's see what appears. And there's Rockwell. Let's see what else. Rockwell Extra Bold. And I click on him. Let's see. Yes, extra bold and 21 font size. So the current size is 20. And there is no 21 here. So we type it in 21 on our keyboard, like we did with 13 for the subheadings. We type in 21 and enter. Okay. Now I think they speak about middle align the heading in the center. And double underline the main heading. 2 lines at the bottom. Let's see. Middle align and apply double underline to the heading. Okay. And now they want me to auto fit the columns. Let's go back to yellow. So this is easily 4 to 6 marks, which we merged and center the data from A to L. Merge and center. We applied Rockwell bold. We applied font size 21. We middle aligned it. And we double underlined the heading. So that's easily 5-6 marks. And now they want me to Sorry, we put that there. They want me to auto fit by double clicking all the columns. Double click. Between B and C, click, click. Double click. Double click. Click, click. Click, click. Double. 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 Let's shift my scroll to the right. Double click. Admit. And double click. So far, so good. I think someone's mic is on. Let's go back in here quickly and let's mute all. All right. Let's go back to this. We can always take your questions or raise your hand. If someone needs a question and if someone can raise your hand over there, then I can stop and go back. But obviously you can watch the video 15, 20 times and I'll take your questions afterwards. All right, students, let's continue. Where are we now? So we double click all the subheadings on all the headings and columns. Let's see where we're at now. Question number 6. Okay, they want me to change the percentage of this document so that we can see the whole spreadsheet in front of us. So we're currently on, what's it, 90%? Let's move it to a 80, a 70. But I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger so we can still see it. So not 8, was it 90? Let me type in there, let me type in 85. That's better. So now we can see from L. Okay. That's a bit better. So you guys can see it. All right, let's continue. And what do I see next here? Join the data. I see a concatenate formula. So we need to join column information or data in column B and in column D with a minus sign or a hyphenated sign symbol in between and autofill the values down. And that we're going to do in column E3 to E26. So we first start in E3. 3. There we go. Column B must be joined with column D with a hyphen or minus sign in between. Is equal to concatenate. Formulas recently used. There I see it. B3 with a minus sign and D with a minus sign, click in the next text. D3. So the word Liverpool and Kenny Dalglish will be hyphenated together and I say, okay, 3 marks and autofill it down. And if they're not going to tell you something, what do you need to do? Because you need to see the whole word in that column. We're going to auto-fit it. Double click over there. All right. In column E to 26. I say in column E and auto-fit the column, which we did do. Now we're going to move our way to K. Column K3. Let's see what they want us to do there. Determine the total medals of each player club by using the values from F3 to J3 and autofill the values down to K26. So they want me to add up all these values from F3 to J3. From F3 to J3 in column K3. So it's an auto, I see an auto sum. Click and drag. And there it is over there, down arrow, and I want to automatically add up that values for me. Right, we got that part right. Now they want me to take that value and apply it to all of these data over here by auto-filling it and putting it down in the bottom right-hand corner over there, and we auto-fill. And I release my finger. Left click, and I keep my finger on the left click, and I pull it down, and I release my finger. So in other words, Excel added up that for me, it added up that for me, it added up every single row for me. And it automatically added up all those values for me. All right. So far, so good. Let's see now. Where we at? Question. That was question 8. Yep. Highlight L3 to L27 and format all those values to rand accounting with 2 decimal places, not currency, accounting. L3 to L27. L3 to 27 over there, including that grand total amount. From there to there. Home tab. General in the number dialog box. Let's look for accounting. 2 decimal places. Okay. So far, so good. And they're probably going to ask us to add up these values also in that yellow highlighted cell, which is L27. Let's see. Determine the grand total in L27. What did I just say now? And that's again an easy peasy auto shade in. I release my finger. In there. I stop at that yellow box. And I auto submit. Now, obviously, we can't see that values because there's a hash sign. And yet again, we auto fit the column to make it a little bit bigger so we can see the grand total, which is 665,700 and blah, 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 860 and naught cents. Okay. Let me just see something. Percentage. Okay, it is percentage. Okay, fine. Don't get it twisted. Determine the percentage in M. That's where I, of the grand total of 27, change the column to percentage. Change the column to percentage and use the special key function. Now that, okay, fine. No problem. We're going to move now a little bit over to the right. That's why I looked at the word percentage there. This, I think, has to be grand total, and the word percentage has to be there. So with just a small error, no problem. So I'm going to, and percentage is spelled wrong. Okay. Let me do something here. And I need to type in the proper word percentage. And I think I'm going to copy, cut it, and paste it in there and type the word grand total in there. And I think the reason why I typed in grand total, not for the students to get confused with the other grand total at the bottom. So what am I going to do now quickly? I'm going to do the uppercase formula over for you, just to check something. I scroll to my left. I delete that whole column. Not delete the whole column, I delete the data inside row 3, sorry, and delete. I'm going to do that uppercase formula again. Formulas. Recently used, upper. Go to my sheet 1. From rank to percentage. You see there? From not, I stop at L, I stop at M. And now I say, okay. There we go. So now the word percentage, I just need to change again. What can I do? The current feature is Abadi 13. I can use Format Painter to make that look like that. So what do? I click on there. Format Painter. No. Undo. And redo. I click on there. Because I want that. I want that to look like that. So I'm going to apply this 13 and Abadi to that percentage word in M2. Format Painter and click on there. I say, so now that looks like that, and I auto fit it. And I scroll a little bit to the right. Now they want me to determine the percentages of each of these values by taking the first value and dividing it by the grand total over there to get the answer using a special feature called the absolute referencing F4 key. But before we do anything else, we need to change this column to percentage. This column is currently in general, so we need to change it to percentage. So if I click away, general, 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 but if I click in there, percent, 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 percent. So formula is equal to the first value divided by the grand total at the bottom. F4 key on my keyboard to make the formula absolute and enter on my keyboard. So 102 million from 665 million is 15%. So we need to determine the percent of everything and apply the formula to all of them over there by auto filling it down and release my finger over there. That looks much better now. That makes sense. So here in the question row 2, uppercase formula, apply the subheadings. Merge and center the heading A1 to OK. That's actually fine. Leave it just so. It's just that we're going to use the subtotal part. Not the subtotal. We're going to use the uppercase formula part, which was this little error over here. So no stress. No stress. Let's see. Any questions? So far, so good. All right. Minimize. Let's minimize this and let's continue in my sheet over here. So where we now, we apply the percentages. No stress. Number 11, in M3, determine the percentage of the grand 127 column with a special key, which we just did now. Autofill the answers right down to M26, which we just did now. Highlight A1 to M26 and apply all borders. So from what's it? A1. Read the question properly. Okay, from A1. But now remember, we did not merge and center this piece over here, which I think we need to do. Unmerge and remerge. That's all what we need to do. And that question has to change now, yeah. Because at the beginning, heading merge and center from L1 to M1. And I'm just going to make it in red. Make sense? Because we added that percentage column at the end, M1. Now they want me to shade everything up to 26. Let's see, and apply all borders. Yep, M26, and apply all, there we are, apply all borders. Now we made lines in between. Okay, so far so good. And now A2 to M26, sort the data in A to Z order on a particular column. On the club column. On the club column. So it's a custom sort. So from A2 with the subheadings included, which is column B, the club column. Can you see here? We shade in everything from there to M, all the way down over there, and we don't include the grand total, only the data to 26. And we go to sort and filter, custom sort, and we want to change this information on column B, which is the club column, in A to Z order. And okay, so all this A, B, Barcelona will be first, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, C for Chelsea second, and so on and so on. B for Bayern Munich, and then let's see what happens. Okay, so all the data is sorted now in on club in alphabetical A to Z order. So 3 Barcelonas, 1 Bayern, and so on and so on and so on. Just had a sip of my water. Where are we now? Conditional formatting. Apply the green conditional formatting that contains the word Liverpool in the club column, which is column B. And apply the green fill with green text. So we're highlighting a text. So we are highlighting in this column B here, from B 3 to 26. That's the focus of the data area. Conditional formatting by highlighting the text that contain Liverpool over there, but using a green fill with a green dark font. And okay, so if I click away, that is the area that's shaded in using conditional formatting with a green color. All right. Now we're going to move our way down to this area over here. In C, in C, in C, in C, in C, in C, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Let's see. Here we go. 28, 29, 30, 31. And we're going to do a couple of formulas over here. All right. And the most unique question that's going to come up here is the work date formula. This one is something new, but we're going to get to that one when we get there. All right. And here we go. Determine the average price values in C28. So let's see, price values. Determine the average prices. Now we need to see what are we looking at here. That's my column, the price column. So we need to determine the average price, the maximum, the highest price, and the minimum, the lowest price, and the medium price. So our focus area for the first 4 cells over there is focusing on the price column. So average, I'm going to do this one manually now, not using the formulas, because there comes a time when you're not going to need this. You're going to come and use it like this. Is equal to av. Double click. Select the price column from there to there and shift close brackets and enter. That's my average value or average prices. Next one, the maximum price, which is the highest. That's equal to max. So I see 21, 27. Looks like the biggest number is 27, and we shade it in. Select the range, close brackets, enter, 27. The smallest price again, which is the minimum price. Double click and I see 7, 9, 7, 9, 8. Looks like 7. And I select my range and I close brackets. It is 7. Let's make this screen a little bit, okay, I'm keeping it so that you can see the column price and we're working in there. I can make the screen bigger a little bit later. Now we're going to determine the medium price values. Is equal to median. That's MAD. ME. There's median. Double click. And I select that same area of the price column and close my bracket, shift with the number 0 on the keyboard, shift then 0 with a close bracket and enter. 10. Now we're going to determine the UEFA Champions League medals that is more than 4. The UEFA Champions League medals. Let's see. That is more than 4. Who got more than 4 medals? How many 4 medals are there? Let's see. We need to use a what? A what? It's a if formula, but what if? It's a count if. We need to count the number of medals that is more than 4 using column F, which is the UEFA Champions League column. Let's read the question. So we did this 4 over here. Let's make it yellow. Count if more than 4 in the G column. Oh. Now, why did I say, oh, UEFA Cup or UEFA Champions League? That's confusing. Use it in your UEFA Champions League medals. So it's not column G. That's your UEFA Cup, and that's two different. It's column F. So that is a question error from F3 to F26. Another red one. I picked up something over there. Otherwise, they could have asked after your UEFA medals. So it's not column G, it's the column before G, which is column F. UEFA, Champions League, Champions League. So right, is equal to count. If, count if. Column F, we're going to count the number of medals, which is the range over here, semicolon, open inverted commas, more than 4, close exclamation marks, and close my brackets. Let's see what we get. 24. And I'm going to do this in the other. So I'm going to just put the word 24 here. I'm just going to keep 24 here one side for you to show you. Delete that. Recently used, count if. The range is the UEFA Champions League column, which is F, not G, F. From there to there. And the criteria is more than 4. But obviously we're going to get a note here. But if I put my exclamation marks and the exclamation marks, and there's the 24, 24, it's the same thing, and okay. And I'm just going to delete that one. So that is a count if formula. The blank rankings that we need to count in column A. In other words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, there are 13 blank columns which we're going to use the count blank formula in column A, from A3 to A26. Let's read the question. Use the blank from A3 to A26. Okay. All right. And 33. C33, which is question 20. Sorry. There we go. So, in cell, what's it, C33, use the count blank, B-L-A-K-N. Let's see what happens. Go. Let's use the count blank formula. It is shaded in, okay, to determine the range from A3 to 26 to count the number of blanks, and we counted 13 and it's 13. So far, so good. Now they want me to insert today's date using the text today's date so that it runs in a certain sequence. Watch out for this in the exam, people. Most of the students get confused. It's the text today with a date. And what's today's date? The 22nd of the 4th month, April 2026. And this one I'm going to do manually again. And I'm going to make the screen a little bit bigger for you to see. And here we go. Is equal to text. And I double click. And then I type in today. T-O, and I double click. And I close that brackets. And I semicolon. And I open inverted commas. And they want me to, in the sequence DD, for today's date, with a hyphen, month, which is April the 4th, 04, and the year 2026. Close my inverted commas and close my brackets. Let's see what we get. The 22nd of April, check your formula. So this is 3 marks. Watch out for this. Very important. and enter. UEFA soccer. Let's see what they want me there. Oh, use the substitute formula to change the word UEFA soccer in B35 to UEFA football. Okay. So soccer in B, or shall I say in B35, but you must do it in C35. They want me to see the word soccer must change to football, and I must place my answer in C35. I say, right, so substitute. Recently, and there it is. What is the text? I'm going to move it just over there. The text is UEFA soccer. But in that text, we want to say and change the word capital S, soccer, and we want to change it to football, to football. And if I click on the last word, UEFA football, UEFA soccer will change to UEFA football, and I click on OK. 3 marks, people. Substitute formula. And there you can see it again in your formula bar. Capital S, capital F. See how they spell it. Capital S, capital F. Watch out for that. All right. Now, we come to something a little bit new, which is called the work day formula. So we need to find out and determine in D36 what is the end date of the football tournament based on the start date and the number of days of the tournament. So, what are they saying? That in the cell over here, right? This is the start of the tournament. We need to determine the end date of the tournament because the tournament process or the number of days is 20. So they give us the number of the start date when the tournament starts, and they give us how long the tournament's going to be in the number of days, which is 20. We need to determine when the end date of this tournament is going to take place by using a formula called the work day formula. And it goes something like this. I place in my, what's it, D36. Here we go, in D36, right. We're going to find the end date now. Formulas recently used, and I'm going to type in work. And I'm going to say go. And that's the formula over there called the work day formula. Okay. So my start date is that. The number of days is 20. We need to determine the number. We need to determine the what? The end date. Let's see what it gives us. Okay. Okay, and there it is. So the tournament started on the 30th of March. And the tournament's duration in terms of days will be 20 days. And the tournament will end on the 27th of April, 2026. Let's do it again. Delete. In here, we want to find the answer. Recently used, workday. The start date is the 30th of March. How long is the tournament? It's going to take place over, click on my mouse, 20 days. I click on the last part. There's no public holidays in between. It's a straight tournament with no holidays or no breaks. And we click on OK. And the tournament will end on the 27th of April, 2026. And don't forget to save as we go along. So far, so good, students. So this is something new. It might be June or definitely September, but watch out for that. So we did the today's date. We did the today's formula plus number of days. Let's call it 10. Let's type it properly. Then we did the today's date with a sequence. which is known as ticks today. Then we also did the, today I spelled wrong again. Sorry, my students. Then we did the now formula, which gives us the date and the time. And the new one is called the work day formula, which we did now. So these things can come in the exam. All right. Watch out for the questions. Today's date with the tick sequence, the now's date, which gives us the now and the time, the work date gives us a start date, the number of days, and we need to determine the end date, like in this one over here. Pardon. So watch out for these formulas in the June and September exam. Delete. What else is there? What else is there? Highlight and name the range football. Okay, name range. Very important when we're going to do VLOOKUPs and HLOOKUPs in term 2, semester 2. From A1 to M26. A1 to M26. Let's just see. You see, column M is important. So that, what, like I said earlier on, when we do the uppercase formula, will be the grand total there, then percentage, and also auto-fit, merge and center the columns across to M. So let me just see here, across to M. That is the error I must make, right? And F3, and obviously in Champions League, not G. Okay. So now we're going to name the range, students, which is easy peasy. And in that box, we selected, let's take it from the top again, click away. I select this whole range in up to 26 and column M, 26. And I'm just going to type in here. What do they want me to type in here? Football. Yep. Caps lock button, Football, and I click on enter on my keyboard. So when I click away, there's nothing. But when I shade this area in again, select them, football appears. Now that's going to play a very important role in your third criteria of VLOOKUPs and HLOOKUPs. But we will get to that in semester 2. In other words, in the month of July and August, we're going to focus maybe and look at VLOOKUPs and HLOOKUPs. In other words, the vertical lookup and the horizontal lookup. All right. Change the page to landscape and font size A3 and freeze the panes. These are work that we do. That's common. Highlight, name the range, page orientation, landscape, and margins to wide and page. Okay. Page layout. Orientation, we're going to turn to landscape. We're going to change the margins to wide. And we're going to change the page size from A4 to A3. That one, and that one. And the last part, freeze the first 2 rows only. So where do I place my cursor of my mouse? If I'm going to freeze the first 2 rows, I'm going to place it in the 3rd row so that the freeze panes can apply to the above 2 rows. So I'll just keep it there. View tab, freeze panes, and freeze panes. Now let us scroll to my right. And let's go a little bit further. There's that imaginary line. In other words, row 1 and row 2 stays frozen. So when I scroll with my mouse, up, down, or down, up, the first 2 rows stays frozen. And students, that is exercise 3.15. So the new formula is the workday. And obviously the errors that I made, right, which is column F for your AFA Champions League, and that merge center across to M1, and obviously there's uppercase formula from row 2, which is in sheet 1. I added that over there. All right. So let's make the screen again 75, smaller. There we go. There you can see your whole exercise on one page. So students, this is 3.15. So people, we're doing this from 313, 314, 315, 316, your mock exams. This is the type of similar your June exam will look like. All right. Makes sense? And I save it and you rename it as surname, student number, exercise 3.1, group A, B, C, F, T, and upload to Blackboard and you zip your question paper. So I will just change this also and upload the new question paper, those questions to that exercise, because I picked up an error there and I picked up an error over there. And let's get back to my sheet over here. And is there any questions on your side? So I will upload this recording. And what else? And I will convert it to YouTube for you. Then I see group C tomorrow, then we do 16. And then I see you next week, Monday, Tuesday, hopefully on campus. And then we're going to work through the mock test now. Check this out. And minimize. I'm just going to save and exit. I must just, there's 316 tomorrow. And there's your mock test 1, which I just finished yesterday. I looked at it again. And here's your mock test 2. So what is the mock, like I told my group A, Bs in the week? I mean, group A and C's, group B. Mock test is a baby. Let's open up the questions. This is how your official June paper A, paper B would look like, the cover page. So don't forget your name, surname, student number, and your lecturer's name, Eddie Pretorius. And here will be paper A written here instead of mock test. I'm talking about your paper. And this is like your time allocations, like I told my students in group, like I told the students in group A and C on Monday. Time yourself, time yourself, time yourself. The June exams is 2.5 hours. So you can finish this one in 1.5 hours. So why do we do that? Because at the end of the day, students going to say, sir, I didn't have enough time to upload my assignment or my exam on Blackboard. So that's why time yourself, time yourself. This is basic instructions. Obviously, June paper 2 theory answer sheet, we don't have that. You're only going to focus and save. You're only going to focus on the Excel data file. And you're going to authenticate. And you're going to copy and paste the 3 files or 2 files, whatever from you. Let's see the starter files here. 2 files. Okay. See, I'm making the changes again above. 2 files. Open that one. You're going to must download that. And the access. Here's my caps lock. Access data, capital D, database file. Why are you going to download it? You're going to need that file when we do the what? The import the table from there into the test file over there. And then next term, I'm going to show you, we're going to take something out of Excel and we're going to export it into Access. But for now, we're going to use the database file and you're going to import something into Excel. Copy and paste the 2 files on your desktop. Open your Word doc and spreadsheet again. The Word doc, in other words, your QP. The question paper, which is this. Enable editing yellow strip. Before typing and formatting, save your files at the top of the document spreadsheet. Okay, that's your question paper. But obviously, you're going to get the question, save your files every 5 minutes. You're going to get the question paper, which is the hard copy in the exam. So you don't need to stress about the question paper being downloaded. You're only going to download 2 main files. Your Excel and your Access. All right? I'm talking now June exams. And here we go. You must save it and your mock test as whatever, like your surname, your student number, June paper A or June paper B, group FTABC 2026. And this is the power tools file of the file. At the end of it, you're going to perform the import data from Access to Excel. And here's your question. So we're going to go through this next week. We're going to go through this next week. So students, this is already a simple, easy peasy 65-70% example of what your June exams will look like. The timetable is in the making, so I think we will get the timetable hopefully next week. Your May, June exam timetable. We're getting closer now to exam time, people. All right, and there is the steps on how to upload like we've been doing all the time with your exercises. And like your individual exercise, you are going to zip your starter file, your Excel test file, and you're going to zip your Access file, and you're going to rename your zip file to whatever, June, paper A, paper B, 2026. And save and upload, submit to Blackboard 2026. Tutorial 2026. All that 4s must become a 6. Because I modified the 2024 mock test to 2026. All right. So wherever you see that, actually, yeah. Okay, so that, and there's 20 hours same. So this is going to be your mock test 2, and we're going to start with mock test 1 next week. I checked everything over there. So we will do this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. We're going to do that. We're going to focus on mock, which prepares you for your June. All right, and exit, and obviously in your study leave week, Group B's, which is what? The 8th, the 9th, the 11, 13, 15. In that week, I'm going to give you the solutions of all Unit 3's exercises, and I'm going to give you the solutions of your mock test A and mock test B, or mock test 1 and mock test 2. So this is mock test 2. Let me exit. And let me minimize, and let me go to mock test 1. I just want to check those little mistakes again, similar that I made there. Unit 3, same thing. Same thing. There's a logo picture that you're going to, okay. Enable editing illustrate every 5 minutes. Open your Word doc. Obviously, the Word doc when I'm referring to here is your question paper. But like I said, in your exam, you will have this as a hard copy looking in front of you. Do not open until do not open the file because it must be closed before performing the import. Like I said, always, when you perform the import from database to Excel, make sure that your Access database file stay closed. Otherwise, the import will not work. So don't forget that, students. 2026. I'm just checking everything. This is your mock test 1. Mock test 1. Mock test 1. I just want to change those 2024s. Select the 3 files. So what is the 3 files? Oh, yes, yeah. That's the other part. Download the picture file. Download that and download your Access database file. Because those are the 3 files you need to download. But in the exam, that is the file you download. And that this is just another example. I'm showing you how to insert a logo and image into Excel, but that is term 2's work. But I thought I will just add it in to show you how to insert pictures over cells or in a cell. And where do we find that? Insert, illustrations. Let's see, pictures. When I click on there, we will take it from there. So I'll do this with you next week. I just want to see all those 24s that must become a 26 because I modified the 2024 mock test and I modified it to 2026. Let's just see 3 files. Yes, that's send to 26, 26, 26, 26. And I think I did, yeah. That's what I forgot to change in mock test 2, 26. Same steps. You're going to zip compress your Excel file. You're going to zip compress it with your Access file. You're going to rename your zip file, just like we save our exercises in class, just like you did the individual assignment, just like you're going to do with a group assignment, and upload to Blackboard. And the link will be available. All right. So this is mock test 1 and mock test 2 that we'll do next week, and we will finish up all our 3.16 tomorrow. All right. And save. Let me just check if everything. Yes, so like I said, test yourself, students, and do this in an hour and a half. Because the exam will be 2.5 hours. So you can be well prepared for your exam. 4 pages, let's see, including the cover page. That means it should be 5 pages. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. 5 pages, including the cover page, and save it. Page 1, page 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, and exit. Okay, my students, let's see. Is there any questions on your side? Nothing in the chat box. No one asked anything over here. And these are 16 people. I understand some people clash with class, no problem. But that's why we record our video so you can always watch it 100 times again. Students, is there any questions on your side? Then we can call it a day. Speak to me. If there's no questions, students, then you may leave. But if there is really anything, let me know. Are you okay, groupies? Let me see some thumbs up. And if everybody's fine. Okay, precious, I get you. I see Baziswe. Okay. I see Lefima. And I see, is it Asonele? Okay, thank you, my guys. Thank you. If it's anything else, you know you can WhatsApp me, not 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. WhatsApp me or send me an email. You know the drill. All right, guys, take care, be safe, and stay sweet. I'm going to stop the recording. So long.